Hey everybody, it's Austin Ward back here at Lettermen Row headquarters for a BuckIQ. We have Zach Boren in here, and if you haven't already seen it, he did a BuckIQ on himself. Looking back at that 2012 version of the game, you should check that out. But right now, he's back in here to talk about that Ohio State defense again ahead of Saturday's matchup with Michigan. And Zach, I don't know the right way to phrase it, but 51 points, you don't usually want to see that if you're the Silver Bullets.
It was not good. It was not a good week. They reverted back to some things we've seen previously this year. But they came out with a win, right? And now you're on to Michigan week. I think that is the biggest thing here. It's, we could diagnose and dive into what went wrong, and there were a lot of things that went wrong. But over at the Woody Hayes right now, they're turning their attention to Michigan while also addressing some of those things, but more of in a run-fit scheme standpoint rather than, hey, what exactly did we do wrong in the Maryland game, and diving so hard into that game.
How does a team flush that out, Zach? And what's the way to compartmentalize? Okay, they didn't play well, but they also did some things pretty well the previous couple of weeks. How do you handle all that and make sure that you have your energy focused where it needs to go?
Well, that's kind of why I brought that up. Is it could not come at a better time with it being the game, right? In Michigan week, it's easy to change your focus to, hey, what's coming in front of us? If they were playing a Purdue or a Nebraska or a team like that, and you had the performance that you had last week, it'd be tough to kind of turn the page and say, hey, we need to concentrate on next week. But it's just the Michigan game, right? It's the week. All your focus is, what you're going to be faced on Saturday and the different adjustments that they're going to have to make in the game.
Yeah, it's time for war is already blaring at the Woody Hayes Athletic Facility. Huge week coming up, and that Silver Bullet defense is going to have to be at its best, as it always needs to be, in the game on Saturday. So we're going to look back right now, review what went wrong against Maryland for Ohio State, what needs to be better on Saturday, and we're going to do that right now. So let's roll the tape.
And a big hole off the left side for McFarland past the 40-yard line. They're not going to catch him. It's an 81-yard touchdown.
Okay, Zach, so this is just the second play of the game. Ohio State's trying to come out there, capitalize on the week before, and then before they know it, they're already chasing down a touchdown.
They are. Maryland went to this play so many times in the game. Either some kind of jet motion, some kind of trade with a tight end or tackle. They did this the entire game and then would go to the short side of the field. What happens here is really there's three people who make this play go to the touchdown. Well, it becomes a touchdown because of it. Damon Arnett, number 3 right here, you'll see him. He is responsible for outside contain. He has to come up here and hold the outside strength. That's where he's got to be. Malik Harrison, I don't know why he's flowing that way, but Malik Harrison was showing run over here, needs to be flowing right. And then Brendan White. We've seen some bad angles from the safeties throughout this year. Brendan White's come in and been a very short tackler, taking great angles for this Ohio State defense. Right here, he gets caught up too much into the stuff, and then he gets beat to the outside.
Zach, I know I feel like I've asked you this every week throughout the season when it comes to matters of scheme or personnel. Lately, we've been hearing, well, they missed too many tackles. I mean, nobody touches him here. This, to me, just screams out that it needs to be some sort of schematic or alignment adjustment.
It's totally scheme. Yeah, there were some missed tackles throughout this game, and we'll see one the next play, but there weren't that many. How many runs did we see on Saturday where the Maryland Terrapins running back or whoever had the ball wasn't even touched until he gets to the end zone, right? That is, to me, a totally schematic error where the defenders just aren't in the right place at the right time to be able to make plays.
And this right here, this is you have two guys filling to the same gap. What does that tell you?
You have. From this side of the play, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders all on this side. You've essentially got 3 guys on 2 right here. It just, from a numbering standpoint, there is no reason why Malik Harrison should be all the way over here when in pre-snap he's on the hash. He was on the hash. The ball was on the hash, and he was lined up right here. And now the play is going this way, and he is all the way on this side of the ball.
So that was certainly not an ideal way for Ohio State to start against the rush, but it would also continue to get worse from there for Ohio State.
In favor of their support for Urban Meyer. There's McFarland trying to run left again, and he breaks a tackle. He might be gone again. Past midfield. They're not going to catch him. It happens twice in 6 minutes. Touchdown.
You look at here, this is a pretty straightforward play in most college football playbooks at this point, Zach. And again, yes, you see one of those missed tackles, but I think it started a little bit before that, the breakdown.
It is. There was one missed tackle here. That's all you had. You have missed tackles. The issue is, once again, this is the center right here. You've got 1, 2, 3 on this side of the center, and how many guys do we see to the strength? You have Malik Harrison again running to the right, to our right from the screen when the ball is going left. In my mind, as a linebacker, you have to be able to see your keys, read and react. And this is just defense in general. That's defense 101. Mm-hmm. You see your keys, you read and react. That's how you make plays. Yes, we have a missed tackle, but from a schematic standpoint, you should have another linebacker over there helping Brendan White, and it should have been 2-on-1 in the gap, and they should have funneled the running back at the line of scrimmage.
And Brendan White's kind of coming in for it here a little bit today. It still felt like he was firing. I mean, that's still an aggressive play on the ball tackler, right? I mean, it's not like you need to remove Brendan White. And
let's be honest, there are guys who have missed tackles, right? The greatest defenders, J.J. Watt in the NFL, has missed tackles. It will happen. The problem is when there's one missed tackle, he shouldn't be going to the end zone, right? It shouldn't be a straight path to the end zone from there. There should be 2 or 3 silver bullets right here funneling the running back, so when there is one missed tackle, the other guys are right there to get him down to the ground.
Gotcha.
In the win. Pigram rolling out, looking, throws, no, incomplete. Ohio State survives.
So that was part of it as it piled up here, and Ohio State winds up in this terrible situation. There were a lot more points scored other than that to get to this score. But then, Zach, it comes down to a 2-point conversion. The defense has to make a play. And we know what the end result is. It's an incomplete pass and a guy who looks open. But I felt like when we watched it again and looked at it closely like you're going to do, that maybe it was defended pretty well by Ohio State.
It was. There was really only one mistake that we've seen. It was actually defended perfectly. Besides over here, there are 3 receivers out here. They're playing man on if you look at it. 1, 2, 3. They're running some kind of pick play. You'll see here they've got a shovel pass option here. They've got a rub route to the corner out here, and they've got a spot route. So the quarterback's got 3 options, and number 4 is he can run it, right? Tough Borland plays this phenomenally by coming here and being able to play a little bit slowly on the pitch man, but then also be able to pressure the quarterback that we see to make him make a bad throw. The only issue is Jordan Fuller has to stay on this guy during the rub route. He almost tries to trade it with Pete Warner. Pete Warner comes off, and Brendan White, thankfully, even though he's getting blocked 15 yards down the field, is there to help on this spot route because he's the free hitter. Brendan White right here is watching it. They've got the shovel covered. Tough Borland's putting pressure on the quarterback. The only problem is they needed someone to stay on the wide receiver, but Brendan White made it whole. The defense put pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, could he have made this throw? Yes, he could have, but still, he was rushed through his delivery.
That play by Borland, I mean, I don't think he got credit statistically. I'm not even sure looking at it here that he does get a hand, but it almost looks like he gets a piece of this because it's not that difficult of a throw. It hits the ground, so I think Borland gets credit. You mentioned White. He's getting illegally blocked downfield. We didn't see any flag, but this for Borland, I think that's one reason why he might have been defensive player of the game.
He was, and that's what Tough does so well. You know, so many people give him a hard time from his speed standpoint, running the sideline to sideline, but he's a player that keeps this defense whole. We saw it last week against Michigan State. He reads and reacts. You see right here. Yeah, he doesn't get any credit, but he's in the quarterback's line of vision to make this throw. And so the quarterback gets it offline a little bit because of Tough being right in the throwing lane, right? And gets his hand up, and so the quarterback's got to put some kind of angle on the football to get it to that guy. It's something that Tough, it will not show up in the stat sheet, but Tough is so good at understanding what he's seeing from an offensive standpoint, seeing his keys and reacting.
This is the play that seals the victory and keeps Ohio State in the race to win the Big Ten. It will all be on the line on Saturday against Michigan. It's really the only way it should be, right?
It is. And the great thing is, hey, it's a victory, right? We talked about it. It is a victory. Yes, there were some things that were really bad schematically. The coaches are going to figure that out, though, right? They watched this film on Sunday. They broke it down really quickly. All their focus is going to Michigan now. And, hey, Michigan likes to run the football. Yep. You will see them run the football. You'll see Shea Patterson get out of the pocket just like this, make some runs, quarterback design runs. They're going to go back to almost what Penn State was doing against them, right? Michigan is going to be similar to a Penn State opponent, but they may get an eye a little bit more, from staying in shotgun the entire time.
Right.
The great thing, though, is Ohio State has seen teams like the Michigan team that they're going to see. They had a victory this week. They're going to come out hungry. Normally we see them, hey, after a bad defensive performance, come out.
Yeah.
The stage is set, right?
That's
it's
right.
college game day. It's the game. They got to come out and make some plays.
Can't ask for more. Saturday at noon, Ohio State, Michigan. That's all that needs to be said. He's Zach Boren. He's back for Lettermen Row BuckIQ. Maybe we'll be breaking down some stuff next week to preview the Big Ten championship game. Who knows? But that's Zach Boren. We appreciate him here at Lettermen Row. I'm Austin Ward, and we'll see you next time on BuckIQ.